All right, y'all, I'm going to do the Lake Wedowee fishing report. Today's Sunday, May the 4th. You can see the lake is finally full. It's a nice spring day. It's kind of been a rough spring so far. We've had flooding and super cold, and the lake was frozen, and it's been up and down like 3 times. Chocolate milk, but the lake is finally full. Got some stuff floating, but for the most part, it's not too bad. The water temps in the mid 70s to low 70s. It kind of cooled off last night because of all the rain and some cool weather, but water temps in the low 70s right now. I mean, you can see behind me, it's pretty clean. Some of the creeks and up the rivers are gonna be muddy now because all that rain we had on Saturday, but for the most part, the majority of the lake's pretty clean. And I'm gonna start with the crappie fishing. So I had a guide trip this morning. We started at daylight and ended about lunchtime. We probably caught at least 55 or 60 fish, probably kept 45 or so. But one of the things I was was just this little crappie jig right there, little 16th ounce head in a white color, a split shot, 6-pound line. I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, I literally have this set up in every crappie report that I do because I use this 12 months out of the year. The only difference that I do is I'll change the weight of the head and my split shot. But right now, the crappie we caught today were anywhere from about 6 foot to, we caught some in 25 foot, but most of them were in that 6 to 10 foot range. So obviously the crappie jig caught a lot on him. The next one that is the most important until about November, this right here, a minnow and a gold hook. That is all you need from now until November. Same setup, except instead of a jig, got the little gold hook, 2 split shots, 8-pound line, 6-pound line, nose hook that minnow, drop him down there and hold on. Like from now until the winter time, I'm gonna be catching crappie on the minnow. I'll be using the jig less and less and the minnow more and more. So that's the crappie report for right now. All right, so like I said, that was the crappie fishing side of things. Caught a lot this morning. And on the bass side, Austin and my cousins, they were fishing this past weekend, or the past couple days. Even though it's been raining, they've been catching some bass. So here's the two main baits they've been using. One of them, just a little wacky worm. This right here is actually a wacky trick worm. They've been throwing a floating trick worm like a mathiolate and a pink one. But you could throw a trick worm, a wacky rig trick worm, a Senko, whatever you want to use. The lake has just filled up. These fish are cruising around shallow. You fan cast the wacky worm around a stick, a boat dock, riprap, whatever it is, and you'll get some bites on a little wacky worm or a floating trick worm on a Texas rig, or a floating trick worm, a Texas rig trick worm. Whatever you want to do, you can throw a trick worm or a Senko and catch fish, no matter how you rig it. And then for the top water, right now is the time to be throwing a frog, because you can't really see it here, but back in all these pockets and in some of the coves, there's a ton of stuff just piled up, like trees, limbs, trash. The lake's filled up and all this stuff just matted up. Well, that little frog right there is a good way to fish around that stuff that's pretty thick and not get hung up. So like I was saying, I think we got a meltdown going on. We got people sightseeing behind us causing chaos, but the frog for a topwater bite, Austin caught like a 4-pounder this morning. It's a good way to get a big bite. You might not catch a ton, but if one bites the frog, it's more than likely going to be a good one. So like I said, if you're going to do some bass fishing at Wedowee right now, a frog and some kind of worm, whether it's a Senko or a trick worm, either weightless, a little split shot, a Texas rig, Carolina rig, whatever you want to do, those 2 baits will get you some bites. So like I was saying, water temps in the low to mid 70s, pretty clean. The lake's full now, and summertime's gonna be here before we know it. But like I said, that's my fishing report for the week. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.